Good evening, everyone. Welcome
Hello, everyone.
to Property Investment Group. It's very special tonight. We have invited Brisbane Architect Boon Tan to our group. He's going to share some important knowledge around building properties, what you need to be aware of, how to select the right builder, things like that. Welcome to the.
Hi, Lilian. Thank you for inviting me to the show. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Okay. I think I'm losing. Sorry, Lilian. I think I'm losing you a bit. I can't. Sorry, Lilian, I can't hear you. I can sort of hear your background music, but I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Okay.
Oh, now I can. Okay, I can hear you now. That's good.
You can hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Wonderful. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit and also about your work as well?
Sure. So my name is Boon. So I'm actually from Malaysia. So I come to Australia to study in 2006, come to Brisbane and work. And actually, no, sorry, I come to Australia in 2002, but come to Brisbane after graduate, come to Brisbane to work from 2006 till now. So I was registered in 2012 and come out to form my own company in 2017. So yeah, I've been working as an architect for quite some years. Our studio mainly working on residentials. Sometimes we do have multi-residential like house or apartment. But yeah, we do a lot of houses for the past few years. So yeah, so tonight, thanks for leading us to invite. So tonight, I just want to share my my humble experience about the most of the tips. I think we call when you want to start to build your home. How do you choose your right builder, and what do we do, and try to avoid some common mistake. So
wonderful. Thank you for your introduction. I know you prepare some slides. So for us, would you like to start the slides?
Okay, yeah, we can start the slides now. So, so when you start to build a home, so basically the first thing we ask the question yourself is whether you want to go for the project home builders or you want to go to the custom home builders. So these two, there's nothing wrong for either project home or custom home. It's really based on your own circumstances and about the house that you want. So both these two kind of builder, they have their own pros and cons. So if we talk about the project home builders pros and cons to start with, so as we all know, project home builders are like maybe Metricon is probably the popular one in Queensland. Usually, project home builder have a series of plan that is already ready, that they're familiar with, and because of that, so the pros of going for project home builder is they're very cost effective, because they've been building the similar home for many times, and they can because usually when they build in the mass production, so they can buy all the material in bulk, which make them very cost effective. And second is very fast construction, because they've been building the same home again and again, just with a different material. That's why they're all very familiar with the house, and they can build it very quick. And the third one is the design, because project home has been around for many years, so they have all the design has been established. So they've been working around the design for many years, so they kind of sort of like perfect the design already. So all the design is very well made. And then the last one is their industrial experience, because they've been building the similar houses. Therefore, they know all the issues that you come along when you start building. they already prepare for all the issues. They even have everything they prepare, like all these approvals that they need to get through either from council or certifier. They're very familiar, so their experience very good. But the cons for the project home builder is because they are like the factory, so everything is pre-designed, pre-made. So they're very limited to customization. So if you want something very unique or you want to change too much, sometimes they allow you to change a little bit. But if you want to change too much, then you'll start become not cost effective because they'll charge you a lot for the changes. And because of that, so the other one is the uniqueness is very low. So basically every house looks very similar. They're not 90% or 80%. That is another con. So sometimes you see in the project home area, all the house pretty much looks almost the same, just different color. And then the last one is the quality. Because they build in the bulk, it's just like you order something from the factory. Now they produce 1,000 items at once. Sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you get a full one. So they're very hard to control the quality because of the mass productions, because they build like literally every year they build like 1,000 houses. So I think that's the con for the project home builder. And now if we go to the custom home builder, so custom home builder usually we refer to the one that is very unique design for yourself. So the process obviously is a personalized design. You go to them, you say you want to do something special. They usually introduce to an architect or designer, a building designer. So the design is unique, is tailored for you, it's custom. And because it's custom, that's why it costs a little bit more. That's mean that the craftsmanship they use is also very good quality, because your flexibility you have a lot of flexibility when coming to choose your finishes and material. That's why the craftsmanship usually is better than the project home builder. And also your flexibility to alter the design, and also how you want to involve in the whole building process. Like, did you just want to involve in the design process? Also, you want to carry out throughout the whole process, like selecting the material. It's always fun to bring your client wife to do shopping for material. Though you can go to that kind of length of flexibility. And then the last one is in here, we try to introduce energy efficiency. So when you come to design your own house, because it's a tailored home design, so we design around based on the typology of your site. We're looking for the sun directions. We're looking for the entry direction. We try to design a house that is very sustainable. So now we naturally cool in the winter or warm up in the summer. Cool in the summer and warm in the winter. But then the cons for the custom home builder is because the process is longer and therefore the cost is higher. And I think this is one of the issue that drive most of the people to go to project home builder, because of the cost, which is understandable, because building a house, it is a very very lengthy process, very complex process, and sometimes it's very frustrated and very time consuming. So people,
sorry, Boon.
Yes.
Just interrupting you there. As a rough guide, on the same size land, say both houses are just 1 story and same internal floor size. As a rough guide, how much more in construction costs are you looking at forking out for custom design?
So if on a single story, that means the structural cost will be similar, but the finishes, this is where the differences. So the finishes usually cost about 30% of the entire house. So for the project home builder, because they bought these finishes in bulk, but custom, there's no limit of how far you want to go. It's like, for example, when we select our floor tiles, the project home builder can give you a builder range that costs about $20 to $30 a square meter. But when custom, you can go for like Italian marble or some stone that you want, can cost up to $400 a square meter. So if we talk about single story, usually the structural price remain the same, but then the finishes, it will cost. That's where the difference is. So it's hard to compare, but it is quite hard to put in there because you can go really crazy for the price. But however, there's one thing that maybe is important is the time. Because when you go to the project home builder, usually for single story, they can get it done in 6 to 8 months time. Now maybe a bit longer, but before COVID, it's around 6 to 8 months. But for custom home builder, it took you maybe 3 months to complete the design, and then start construction the 4th month, and you take around 12 months to do it. So time-wise, you maybe 50% longer than project home builder, and that time is also money, because while you're building the house, you have to live somewhere on rental maybe. So this is also the cost you have to factor into it. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. And this point, yes, it does. Thank you. And this point on building a energy efficient property, how important is that? Is that going to become more and more important in Australia now? Is that something most this energy efficiency?
Yes, because we have a new regulation actually coming effective in 1st of October. So any house that you design after 1st of October, you need to, they have increased the requirement for your building envelope so that you have provide a better energy, like the weather seal for the insulation, and they also request a higher green star rating for houses. So the government or the National Construction Code are require a higher green rating. It will cost more money, unfortunately, but I like to believe in the long run that we are doing something better back to we're doing this for our children, for our next generation. So that, because for a very good energy efficient house, like I said, usually the house is naturally cool itself in summer, so you don't need to open your air conditioning 24 hours. And then same as the winter, you just warm yourself out, by taking calculate the sun path, doing what we call thermal wall technique. So it's a lot to get into. It is going to cost you more, unfortunately, because it takes more time to design, take more time to build, and to consider this kind of effect. It's just a long run. It make you a very sustainable house. Yeah.
Okay.
So should I continue the slide?
Okay, thank you.
So first is you have to decide your budget and your time frame.
Please.
So then you decide whether you go to the project home builder and custom home builder. And once you decide that, then we can talk about so how do we find a good builder? How do we find a builder that will do me a solid, will build the house on budget, on time, and no drama. So usually how we found builder is this is a few point I write out. So in Queensland, or maybe around the whole Australia, usually you refer by a friend. Now, any friend who just built a house and then their builder is good, they recommend. 2 is you refer by the people in the building industry, like myself or building designer, because we probably know more builders than you, so you can call them and ask them to recommend one. The word of mouth is a similar thing, just refer by friend or your neighbors. The 4th one, which is checking the QBCC website. This is, I think, it can only be done in Queensland. I will explain this more detail in the next slides. And also the last one is when you check out the builder, when you sit down to talk to the builder, maybe the builder that you don't familiar with or recommend by people, you meet them. You always, at the end before you left, you always ask for their ask the license and insurance number, because this is very important, just to protect yourself. So if we go to the next, so this is where I'm talking about. In Queensland, we have this committee is called Queensland Building and Construction Commissions. So this is only in Queensland. I don't believe in Victoria or New South Wales they have a similar committee. So in Queensland, all the tradie, you have to be registered under QBCC. So it doesn't matter you are the builder, plumber, carpenter, concreter. So you have to register. So that when you meet a builder, you ask for their builder license, which we call a QBCC license. Then you can come to this website. You can check their license number. So this is just an example I pull out from the website. Is you go, so on the right hand side is the QBCC main website. You go there, you find the QBCC license register. You put in the numbers, and then they can tell you. On the left is one of the two windows that they will tell you. So the top left is the record of this builder. Have that builder has been rectified for any defect works? Have that builder has been bankrupt or have been convicted or have been issued an infringement notice? Everything is listed on the website so that you know the history of the builder. And the bottom one is telling you the experience of the builder. So like this one is saying that for the last 3 years, so the last year, in the 2022 to 2023 financial year, this builder have done 9 houses, and the total value of the houses is $5.9 million. So this is the thing that you can check once you get the builder, the QPCC license. So this is a very easy tool for us to check the qualification and also the history of the builder, and you can't hide this, and you can't cheat for that. And this applies to all the tradies, not just a builder. Like the plumber, the electrician, you want to know like your house, you got the plumber issues. People recommend the plumber to you. You ask for his number, you can check his history. You can't get away with that. So this is actually a very good tool for you to find out, to learn more about your builder. But again, I'm saying I'm not sure about Victoria and New South Wales. Sorry.
So I think last time you said, I think last time you were saying, a builder may be able to shut down a company and start a new company, but they can never change their license. Is that right? Or is there a way for them to cancel their license and start a new license or something like that?
Well, yes, they can't change their license, but they can. So a company can have a multiple builder, and a company itself has a company license. So they can shut down the company, so the company license go with it, and they open a new company with a new license, and then all the record will be gone. That's correct. But then you look at his history, you're saying, oh, this is a new company. They haven't done any job before, but this guy told you he's been working for the last 10 years. So where is the record go? This is a question you can find, you can ask. So they can close down this company, or they can say, okay, I got convicted, I stopped using my license. I got another builder friend, we open a new company, I'm using his license to register. So my record is clean. But when you check the history, it's saying, wait a minute, you say you've been working for 10 years, but your record saying you only do 1 job last year. Where's the rest of the record? So this is the thing that the question mark or the red flag that is that you're gonna ask yourself why. So yeah, like you're saying, yes, there's a way you can cheat the system, but there's also a way you can but this is like, again, this is a very good tool to check it out. So if we
agree. Very clear.
Yeah. So if we may continue, so once you check the builder history and the builder portfolio, the reputations, then next step is you check his work. So you want to check his portfolio. The very common one is you ask the builder to show you his previous recent completed project. So you can went to the house and check their workmanship. This is kind of important as well, because most builder can finish a job, but not all builder can finish a good job. So the builder that is not shy to show you their complete products mean that they're actually confident of their work. So they'll show you around. So that is a good sign if the builder is saying, yeah, I got a few projects just completed, just come have a look. Means that they're confident of their work, which is a good sign. But from my experience, it is good to if the builder to show you, willing to show you their completed product. But if you can go and check their current project, like the under construction project, the construction side can also tell you a lot about the builder. We have a saying in here is a clean site is a good site. A good site means it's a good builder. So when we go and visit the site, we always check how messy the site is or how clean the site, because a builder is responsible for the construction site, the safety, the clean, and also the progress. A messy site means that no one is looking after the site. It means that no one is managing the site, which means that this builder is either too busy or he just have very bad management skill. When it comes to building houses, the managing skill is very important for builder, because he need to arrange for tradie to come on site. He need to book. He need to order the material. He need to order, make sure the material come on site. This is all is a lot of hard work, especially when he got multiple projects. So when he start lose track of this management, that's where the project start to get delayed. No, your framing was supposed to be on site today, but it's not coming because you missed a day, or your plumber is not here today because you didn't book it or you didn't pay him. So this is all the sign. So when the builder cannot keep his site tidy, it means that he's lose control of the site. This is also a red flag that you check on. So a good builder always keep their site clean. It means that they got everything under control. So this is all the thing that we see behind, I have to say, behind the scene. That when you look at the site, it can tell you so much about the builder.
And so the one on the right, it's your own. It's your own construction, right?
Yeah, sorry, I want to make it clear. So the photo on the right is one of our project built by my builder. So you can see the site has a fence for security purpose. They got the proper bulk bin there for all the rubbish to go in, and then they got the toilet, and then they have like all the material is kind of like laying like tidy together. The one to the left is I took this photo from the internet because I don't want to offend any builder. So this is reported on the news about the councils going after the bad builder. So this is one of the photo on the news. This is not any builder that I know. So I'm not pointing to anyone. Just try to make it clear. So like the photo on the left, you can see that first there's no fence, so anyone can go in there and hurt themselves. And on the first floor, so there's an unfinished balcony and a door there, but there's also no safety guide. So anyone can fall from the first floor, not to mention all the garbage that in the front. So this side is either has been stopped working or the builder has lost control of the site.
Yes.
So this is all the sign we look for. So if your builder show you a very good complete project, but his ongoing project look like this, so it's been that he maybe has a control on the previous job, but obviously the current job he lost control or he lost management. And if you look into it, it could be because they got finance issue. He had to let go a few site foremen. He got less people work now. Usually one like they got one site foreman for one site foreman working for one project. But now because of finance issue, they have one site foreman working for 3 projects. This is all the sign you can see. You can start asking questions, and they usually, if they can't answer you straight away, then you kind of know that there's a red flag that you need to be aware of. So so this is a photo that I can find.
That's very good. Sorry, I'm probably sidetracking a little bit. Can I ask? Just in my neighborhood, nearby house, they were doing like knockdown rebuild, and I noticed it got built very quick. Like I would say it's about progressing for like 8 months already. I'm just curious why sometimes certain constructions can at the initial stage be very quickly to get to 80% completion, and then suddenly took forever and there's no movement for like 8 months. What are some possible that has since become very messy, like the picture you shown here?
For the last 2 years, this happened because the lack of material. So they carry the project to a stage where they have to wait for the material to arrive, and because of the shortage of material, they can't move forward, and that's why sometimes the site has been putting on hold for a couple of months or weeks. And when the site has been put on hold, when no one to look after the site, it can derail very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
This is I'm guessing maybe this is one of the reasons. Yeah. The second reason, it could be the finance issue.
Okay.
So, yeah, it could be a short supply of material, or it could be a finance issue, like maybe the client cannot continue the mortgage anymore. And yeah, so it's never a good thing when you see a job site has been stopped for more than a month.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So
thank you.
I can't tell you about this is mostly the reason.
Yep.
So if we continue, okay. So once you choose how you want to build a house, once you choose the builder and you vet the builder, you think this is the right builder, you want to sign a contract. So I saw on social media, everyone keeps saying that beware when you sign the contract because it's a trap and things like that. Like from my experience, the contract is a contract you agree on both parties. So you should always read your contract before you sign. So it doesn't matter if you go for the project home builder or you go for the custom home builder. My recommendation is that you never sign the contract on the spot. You sit down, you talk to the builder, you agree on the construction fees, everything go ahead. They ask you to sign. It's like, great. I just want to just tell them you need another day to think about it, but ask them to let you to take the contract home. They should allow you to do that. You say, I want to take this contract home. I want to spend a night or two to have a good read. So if your English is good, you go back and read every single one. Make sure you're familiar. If it's not, then you can ask for help. You can ask a solicitor, or you can ask your designer or your architect to explain to you the contract, because there are different contracts on the market that builder use, and all the contracts have different clause. So sometimes these clause they don't play favor to anyone. It just depends on the circumstances. So it's just best for you to understand the contract. Like I got a few friends, they sit down, they find the builder, they agree with the price, and they sign the contract. And once they sign the contract, then they come and ask me saying, hey Boon, I signed the contract. You want to have a look and see, should I be worried about anything? I'm saying, you signed the contract, man, it's too late. You should ask me to read before you sign the contract. You sign the contract, it's done deal. Even I found something not good or something bad, what can you do? You sign the contract. I mean, you can go back and saying you don't want the contract, but it's just messy. And now you are signing a contract, you are asking the builder to build a house. It's a lot of money. You want to understand the contract. So ask for help. Anyone that you know to help you to understand the contract. So that's one thing. And two is the timeline. So this is what, like you were saying. So sometimes the builder can build a house very quick, but halfway they stop, and then they stop for a very long time. So then it means it's got delay. So how do we control the timeline? The contract usually tell you the timeline. So how long will it take them to get this house built? So you want to make sure that this is in the contract as well. And more important is you want to know when they can start the project. So you want to make sure everything is in the contract, listed out properly. And the third one is how you're paying the builder. So this one is pretty straightforward. For residential project, usually just pay in stages. So for a house, usually there's five stages from memory. So this first one is the deposit you pay to the builder. Second one is the footing and slab. That's a second stage. Third stage is the framing and the roof. The fourth stage is the cladding and the close-up, and the last stage is the finishes. So usually you got 5 to 6 payments. The last payment is when you're doing your final checking. So just understand your payment schedule. Also, the fourth item is also quite important, is what you're gonna check your contract about your inclusion item and exclusion item. The most common one is I wouldn't say most, but the one that come to me complaint is when they sign a contract with the builder contract is not including landscaping, which means your lawn, your front fence, your driveway was not included, and they're not aware because and then to build a driveway and fence, it's going to cost you another 10-15 grand. So you're going to aware what are you paying, is your fee including or not. So the inclusion and exclusion is very important to make sure you know as well.
Yes.
The next one is you want to check your warranty. So this one for me sometimes confuse most of the people. So most houses, they come with warranty and guarantee, and and the difference is that warranty is the material, guarantee is the workmanship. So this is two quite distinct different. So the material that we use to build a house, this material coming from a supplier, like you use your gem sadi for your cladding, you use Boro for your concrete, or you use some brand for your window. Those supplier, they have warranty of their product. That Deluxe Pen has warranty for their pen. They can last how many years under the sun, extreme weather. So you got to understand your warranty, and what the builder give you is the guarantee of the workmanship, how they put the thing together and make sure that they don't fall apart in certain year. So in Queensland,
yes,
the regulation is pretty locked in. You can't change that, even you wanted to. You can't change that in your contract, because usually the builder will guarantee their work in 12 months time. So during the 12th month, if nothing fall apart, if anything fall apart during the 12th month time, then the builder need to come back to fix it. But after 12 months, then the builder can get away. But please know the difference is this guarantee is the workmanship, not structural. So the builder actually take a lifetime guarantee on the structural stability of the house. So if your structural fail, if your house, let's say your footing fail, or your framing fail, it start cracking, it start shagging, or start moving, this is structural failure. This kind of failure has no time frame limit. It's for life. So even after 5-6 years, when your footing start fail, you can go back to the builder. This thing there's no time limit. Builder saying, I only guarantee for 7 years. There's no such thing in Queensland. There's no such thing in Queensland. They go for life. so this is
yes.
Yeah. So this thing is good.
In Queensland, it's for life. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, because
can I ask, like, say if the first owner sells the property to a new owner, does the lifetime warranty continues? Does it get transferred?
Yes.
Or once the property change hand, the second owner loses the right for structural warranty?
No, because it's the builder. So who built this house is follow the house, not the house owner. Yeah, it's just like the difficult part is when they say this is a 10 years old house. Sorry, you're saying?
So I just wondering, what should the new owner ask to ensure that the warranty will continue? What sort of paperwork should the new owner ask for?
So this will be depend. Well, so for the new owner, you want to ask the approval documents from the previous owner. Like usually they have a set of documents that have all the drawing, have the stamp from the council.
Yes.
So when the builder finished building the house, they'll have this set of documents hand to the owner. If the first owner is very tidy and very very good collecting document, he should pass it to the second owner. It doesn't happen all the time, but in Queensland, because everything is registered in QBCC,
yes,
you can always go back to the QBCC and council and ask
yes.
for the record. You can find out who built the house.
Oh, okay.
You can't
Right.
get away. You can't get away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Queensland, we're
Excellent.
saying, I've been told that the regular building regulation in Queensland is more tough compared to Victoria and New South Wales, because we have this QBCC body.
Yes. I see.
That's what I've been
Okay.
told. But there's one thing that is, when your house is too old, let's say your house is like 7 or 8 years old, and then you start seeing cracking, you start seeing structural failure. Yes, you can call back the builder, but usually the older the house is, the more issue they can cause the structural failure. So it's not always the builder fault. It could be because because your site moved, because your surrounding moved, you got more water now, you got more rainfall now, you got flood now. So there's a lot of issue can cause the structure go wrong. It's just like the longer you go, the older the house is, the harder for you to prove that it's a structural problem. But the builder always guarantee the structure for life. You can't. There's no time frame limit on that. It's just to prove that it's their fault is getting difficult because it's getting it's too old.
Yes.
So
yes.
so this is
theoretically they can still get out of it. Even though they offer a lifetime, warranty.
Yeah, it's because it's very hard to prove. It's not a choice. They have to guarantee. It's not like they cannot choose not to offer that. So so this is the thing that not most of people, because usually when your house is issued, you go to the builder and say, oh, this is more than 12 months. No, I already exceed my guarantee. So stop calling me. It's not always the case. You gotta find what's the problem. If it's leaking, if it's your window doesn't working, because the window you open every day, so it's wear and tear. So this guarantee have time frame limit. But and you're saying you're leaking because of your I don't know, because your gutter, you didn't clean your gutter, or because your waterproofing is failing, because this material get old and get fail. Therefore, this kind of guarantee has time frame. But structure was supposed to be last 175 years or 100 years. Can't remember now from my top of my head. So that's a time frame the builder should guarantee.
I see. Okay.
So the last point is when you're going for the custom home builder, is always recommend to ask the architect or the designer who designed your house to help you see through the contract and documentation, because they're familiar. Like we call this a contract administration, so that we act as an agent to help you to deal with the builder. It's recommend for us if you're doing a custom home. For project home, there's no require because everything is pretty standard.
Yes. So I just wondering, this is probably a silly question, but
that's okay.
What's the difference between the architect checking the contract compared to a conveyancing solicitor checking the contract? Like is it you can pick up things from different angle?
We don't check the contract. Sorry. So the building contract, yes, we can check because we are familiar. So we know the writing. But the solicitor, if they have experience, they can check that as well. But we're talking about building contract, not selling and buying contract. If you're buying or selling the land or the project home, like you're buying a house, so that's the solicitor contract. But if we talk about the building contract, yes, we check them, because inside is all about building terms, like building construction terminology. So yeah, we understand them.
I see. Okay, got it. Thank you.
So this is a contract that is very commonly used by the builder in Queensland, and in other states as well. The master builder and we call HRA contract. So this is the Queensland version. I think every state have their own version because they are clause slightly different. So these two are the most common contract if you go for the project home builder or you go for the castle home builder, because this contract was written by the builders association, or they call master builder association. So the clause in there is slightly more favor to the builder, not to the client, just slightly, not unfair.
I
so
see.
this is the yeah. But besides these two, we architect we use this we call EBIC simple work contract. So
Yes.
this contract was written by the Architect Association in Australia. So therefore, it's no bias. This is a very simple and very fair contract for the client and also for the builder. And is much more simpler to use and much more simpler to understand. But builder doesn't like to use them. We use only
okay. So
we only can. Yes.
So yeah, that was a question I was gonna ask. So not every builder is willing to sign this particular contract, is it?
Yeah, because they're not familiar and they don't want to understand. They don't want to waste or spend time to understand it.
I see.
Yeah, because they're familiar with these two that they've been using for life, so they know everything inside.
Yes.
When they go for this one, they need to re-understand the contract. Some like the builder but the builder that we work with, because they deal with the architect all the time, they're only doing those architectural house or very boutique custom house, and they familiar with the contract, so that they're happy to use the contract. So when so this is a scenario is when you go for the builder, when you talk about the fees and things like that, you also need to ask them what contract you'll be using for me to sign this contract, so that you know if the builder saying master builder or HRA, so that you can ask a copy and study them, and then you know what's a clause, like what's everything in there. But for us, sometimes when the client come to us, they ask us to design the house for them, and they ask us to tendering the project for them, so that during the tendering process, I will tell the builder very clear that if you win the tender, we will be using this EBIC simple work contract, not your contract. So you have to think, like, if you win the tender, this is the contract we use. You can't say I don't like it. So sometimes we'll put it into a tendering progress and inform the builder beforehand. We have a builder curious. So we actually, the last job we did, the builder was curious. The builder asked us, so what kind of contract your client want to use? I saying, oh, usually we use an EBIC contract, but if you don't want, we're happy for you to use the master builder contract, so I can explain to the client. But the builder said, no, actually, he don't mind to try this because he heard people talk about it. He just never see it before, and then he don't mind to have a read and understand it. It's just a contract. It's basically he's just familiar with it. It's very similar.
Yes.
It's just a few clauses here and there, slightly different. But at the end, it's a non-biased contract that read by Architect Association for both the client and the builder. So this is the three most common contract. Sometime I heard it before.
Yes.
I never see it myself. Is the builder.
Okay.
I just wondering. Yes. Sorry, you're wondering what?
I just wondering, like, before you were saying before signing the, before you were saying it's very important to check the contract, before signing. What if it was discovered some terms was enough? How easy is it to go back, for general things like landscaping and stuff like that? How easy is it to go back to them and ask them to add that in before signing, or it could
before
be a difficult process before
you
signing?
Before you sign a contract, very easy. If he want your if he want your business. After you sign a contract, it's still easy. It just it will cost more money.
Very easy. Okay.
Yeah, before you sign,
Okay.
it's just it's during negotiation. Whatever request you ask, he can do it. He will do it. He's saying, okay, I
see.
Saying,
okay.
I haven't included the landscape. You want me to include? That's fine. So this is an additional fees. If you want me to do a landscape, are you happy with the fees? If you're not happy, at least you know that what you're paying is not include landscape, and then you still need to find your own landscape at the later stage. Because most people say, oh yes, I signed a contract with this builder to build a house. I got everything sorted. You got all the money sorted. Only realize that that it's not including the driveway. Now he need to find more money for the driveway. Not all the people can find this extra 10, 15 grand because it's still money. So before you sign the contract, it's very easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So this is about the contract. The next slide. Oh, so we just mentioned the difference between the ABIC contract and master builder. So basically, like I'm saying, the ABIC simple work contract is by Architect Association Australia, so it's very easy. And the master builder HIA is by the master builder association, so they kind of like more favor towards the builder. But having said that, the master builder and the HIA building contract, they are more flexible in the term, so they can change their term for a more larger house or more complex house. The simple work is a very simple contract. If your house is too complicated, then maybe you can't use the simple work contract. But I never see that happen before. So all the house is pretty simple. There we go. So I think we talked about that before. It's about the contract price that you sign and also the payment structure. So basically, if you're going through the custom home builder scenario, so you have an architect or building designer to do the design for you, then we'll go through. So after we've done the design, we'll go through the tendering process. They'll help you to find 2 or 3 builders to tender this house for you. So tendering process is in my opinion, is the only method to find the best price to build your house. because you have a set of documents that tendered by 3 different builders. We call comparing price. So this is the only method, for my opinion, that you find the best builder to do your house at the best price. When I say best price, not always the lowest price, but the best price. It's very hard to compare the project home builder price because all project home builder design are slightly different. And because they are slightly different, that's why they are not the same for comparison. So some builder house is cheaper, even it's the same number of bedrooms, same number of area. But the other builder is always cheaper because there are too many things that's hidden that you can't tell. Because when it's different, you can't compare. That's why we're saying when we're comparing quote, we want to go for minimum 3 builders. But if you go for a project home, then there's no tendering process. Like I'm saying before, we always try to find the best price for the client, but we try to avoid the lowest price. However, the client will always go for a lowest price because who doesn't want to go for the lowest price? But it's not that lowest price is always bad, but most of the lowest price is usually fishy from our perspective. So my own experience that I can think of is one of these projects that I did during the COVID period. So I designed this house in 2019, and then we got the tender in 2020. So the builder start building in around mid 2020, basically during the COVID time. So we have a 3 tender for the house, and the first and second tender is about 1.5 million, and the lowest tender is 1.2. So I actually recommend the builder to go for the second lower tender, which is about 1.5 from memory, and saying, can we negotiate with this tender and try to bring it closer to 1.2? But the builder saying, no, I just go to the 1.2 tendering price builder and try to negotiate lower down to 1.1. I saying, look, we have 3 price. The first and second is very close. That means that they didn't miss anything. But the third one, the lowest one, they are 300 grand different. That's like 1/5 of the price. It's huge. And that's why I say I would not recommend, but the client insists because it's 300 grand cheaper. So he go for the lowest tendering builder. And yes, and then bad thing happened. The builder went bankrupt because they're tendering too many projects with too low the fees, and he couldn't recover the fees, so that they went bankrupt. But luckily, the builder, the site foreman who worked on this job, tell my client that he happy to come back to finish the job for him, so that my client just paying him, not the builder, because the builder is go bankrupt. So my client learned the lesson because he almost got this project busted, just because he chose for the lowest contract. So this is just an experience from my life recently that really try to avoid lowest contract builder. And even you want to go for the lowest contract builder, just make sure you check for everything else. Make sure you tick everything. Financial problem, there's no financial problem. There's no project issue. There's no labor issues. Like, just check everything else, because you don't want your builder to go halfway bankrupt, because it's a painful project to ask a second builder to come back and finish your job for you. So we continue the next slide. Time frame. We also talked about this before, so just make sure that you confirm the time frame with the builder, and then always ask them to put that time frame in the contract, not just saying. Because if it's not written down in the contract, then it doesn't count. And the second one is make sure the starting date of the contract too. I got a friend who told me before that she signed a contract with the builder, and she asked the builder about the time frame. The builder promised 10 months, so they put down the 10 months project timeline in the contract. But what he forget to ask is when can the builder start? So at the end, the builder dragged that job for 3 years because simply they were too busy. And contractually, the builder didn't lie. He didn't start the job. He just like, when he started the job, he finished in 10 months, but he just didn't say when can he start the job. So my friend learned the lesson. So just make sure everything you want is written in the contract. This is not not many people do that, actually, only we, but you can always ask the builder, is the list of their subcontractor. Again, maybe this is in Queensland. We always ask the subcontractor list from the builder, so that we know who's a plumber, we know who's a carpenter, we know who's the electrician, and we can check their record in the QBCC website. People usually don't ask this because it's probably they don't know they can ask this. You can try to ask your builder, see whether they'll give it to you, but we always ask that because we want to check every single one. Just make sure that they have the right team. Sometimes, not often, but sometimes the builder will use some non-qualified person to do the job, but at the end you ask the other man who come and sign the job for them. So it happened. So we just make sure that this is not the case. It's always ask the subcontractor list, make sure that everyone have the QBCC license so we can check on them. We continue the next slide. Well, next one is I think this is the last one. Second last one. So this is basically just communications during the construction period. Always ask your builder to provide update to you. This is not very difficult, and I'm sure that most of people will do it without asking. So you drive by your site every day to see the progress, see what happened, and sometimes when you saw there's no one on your side, you start panicking, and because you want to, you start questioning the builder what's going on. So just always ask the builder to give you updated. A good builder is annoying, but a good builder will always update the client, because what you need to do is 15 minutes once a month to email your client and tell him what's going on. So ask the builder to update you the progress so that you're aware of what happened.
I see. Okay. Can I ask? Seems like this confusion around, like, can you actually send your own inspector to go and inspect the property by stages to ensure that the builder is building the property with the correct guidelines? And sorry, there seem to be like sometimes the builder will make excuse that, you know, it's out of the insurance. You know, external inspector cannot go on site to inspect the property. They use that as an excuse to turn away inspectors. I'm just wondering, yeah, how do you handle that situation?
So it is true. So everyone who entered the site fall into the builder liability. So if I go to the site and I injured myself, that's the builder responsibility, which is the builder insurance need to be covered. So what's the builder say was correct. He need to be responsible for anyone who entered the site. So he has the right to refuse the outside inspector. But for us, because when we sign the contract, if the client want to hire us as an inspector or as a contract administration, so in the contract, we already saying that we will be going to site once a fortnight or once a month. So the builder cannot refuse. It's in the contract.
Okay, so again, it's important to include this in the contract right from the beginning to avoid this sort of dispute.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
thank you.
I actually have people that employ me to be their inspector for the house they ask the project computer to build for them. It's very, for a house, most of the builder will say yes. They'll be feel annoying, they don't like it, but they will say yes, because when they say no, it's been that it sounds like they want to hiding something. So when they say no to you, again, I think it's a red flag. But like you're saying, like I mentioned before, if you think this is important to you, put it in a contract so that the builder cannot say no.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I think this concludes the tips for how to find a builder. I want to apologize. It's a bit technicality, so maybe it's a bit boring. But I think for me, because I've met so many people, and this is all the important stages to make sure that we find the right builder. And it is difficult for most of the people who are not in this industry. So seek help. There are so many people out there that they can do this for you. Like, you know, architect, you're a building designer. We deal with this every single day. For us, it's an everyday job. And it's very important as well, because you're building a house. You're spending a lot of money. You want to make sure where some money go. So this come down to my So this come down to the last page, which is the common mistake that most people have when they're building a house. Is the first one is you're not doing enough research. Finding a builder was never an easy task. Even sometimes for us, for building a particular project, I will do research on the builder, make sure that they have done something similar before. Sometimes it's really very, very hard to find a good builder and the right builder. You have the good builder, but he's too busy. There's no time to do your job. So all this thing is headache. Always do your research. Always, like in my pocket, I always have 2 or 3 builders that I know that I can rely on in my pocket. So if I want tender, I have more than one choices. 2 is you never choose the builder based on the price. Again, you're building a house, you spend a lot of money. You're spending 1 million, 1.2 million, 1.5 maybe in Victoria and New South Wales. Like sometimes the 2 builders is only 100 grand or 200 grand different. I know 100 grand is a lot of money, but if you look at the whole contractor, maybe it's like 10%. So sometimes it's really not worth to risk it. So just be cautious when you choose a builder based on the price, because you get what you pay.
Sure.
So the third one is a contract. Like I'm saying, a contract is signed by two parties. There's no bad or unfair contract. It's just you misunderstanding the contract. You thought that this contract is supposed to doing this, but it's not. So understand the contract before you sign. Communication issues. This is what I have as well. Is like when the builder that you find doesn't respond to you very efficiently, like they talk very long to respond to you, or they always have communication issue, like you call, you email, no one pick up the phone, no one reply the email. Yeah, go for the next one. It's nothing frustrated than when you want to find someone to ask a question, you couldn't find anyone, like your bank. It's always frustration.
Exactly.
So the next one is not seeking multiple tender. This is the same as so you always ask more than one builder for the price. Like for a custom home builder, we can do that because we do it for you. But for the project home builder, it's probably a bit difficult because they're all different. But again, ask. Just the more you ask, the more you learn. Every builder you talk to, some builder when they try to they want you to sign a contract with them, they will tell you the thing that they know. So you learn something from every builder you talk to. So talk to as many builder as you can. Nothing go wrong with that. Nothing go wrong with that.
Yes, very similar to talking to as many sales agents as you
exactly
can.
Right, because when the sales agent want you to use he or her, she will tell you the tips that no one will tell you, and then you learn something new, and then you can talk to the next one, and then you're gonna show them you're gonna talk to them and do them to tell you more. So it never go wrong.
Yes.
Just to talk to the more builder or more the people. It never wrong with doing that.
Yeah, agree.
So the next one is choose the builder with the similar project experience. So when the project home builders, probably they're all the same. There's nothing special about that. Sometimes when you have a very difficult site, when your site is very slope, or your site is on the riverside or on the waterfront, so you want to make sure that you have the builder done a similar project in this scenario, because they are quite different, and it can go wrong quite easily if the builder is inexperienced in the site like this or in the project like this. So always find the builder with the similar project experience. Next one is a gut feeling. This one I always is quite important. Like if you feel something is fishy about this builder, or you feel like the builder wasn't telling you the truth, or you feel like something is wrong for this builder, just go away. Just find another one. Just have to always trust your gut feeling and instinct. So the last one is when you're building a custom home builder, when you're building a custom home with a custom home builder, it's always recommend for a third person that help you to manage the project, because building a house is very complicated and the process is very lengthy. Like all the slide I'll just talk about, like most people doesn't want to know this because it's really annoying and really boring, but it's important to get every step right, because building a house is you're putting a lot of elements together. It's like playing a Lego. You're putting a lot of pieces together. Every piece have to click. One piece doesn't click, maybe it will not fall now, but it will fall in the later days. So it's really important we get every step right, and seek help. If you can't do it, get someone involved to help you. Yes. So I think that's conclude for the from the presentation tonight. I have a few more slides to answer the question from the Facebook, I believe.
Yes.
So I know that the question they asked on Facebook is in Mandarin, so I just put it in English. Hopefully I translate correctly. So I think the most asked question is, how do you calculate the cost of building your own house? You cannot unless you are the expert in the area. like I'm saying, building a house is putting a lot of elements together. So you cannot calculate the cost without a very complete set of the documentation, the drawings, the schedule, the engineer's drawing. Excuse me. So you can't unless you have this full set of drawing and done by the QS or the builder itself. However, we do have a guideline to calculate the building cost. So this is based on the experience. Is we call a rate per square meter. So when I started working in Brisbane in 2006. So when I'm doing the costing for the client, I asked my boss, how do I do costing? I study architecture. I don't study QS. I don't know how to calculate. And then my boss just told me, oh, just calculate them 1,600 a square meter. I was saying, what? He say 1,600 a square meter. That's the rate for build townhouses. The reason why my boss can give me this rate very accurate because he's been doing the same type of townhouse for many, many years. So he knows exactly what is in the house. He knows exactly what is going to happen. It's just like project home builder. So so we use this rate per square meter because we've done a similar project again and again. But nowadays, I feel like everyone using this method for all the houses, but you can't use this for all the houses because unless you just build a similar house before. So if you're building a 2-story house and a 3-story house, your rate is different. You build a house on the flat land, you build a house on the slope land, the rate is different, and you can't do that. So we use this rate as a guideline. So usually when the client come to me saying, I want to build a house for myself, I have 3 kids, we need a 5-bedroom, and I have this budget. So how much, how big the house can be. So we use this guideline to help the client determine how big the house can be or how many stories the house can be. And we can say that because we've been dealing with the houses every single day. Now, even if I don't know, I'll call my QS, I'll call my builder, they'll give me the guideline. So when a builder can tell you, I'm gonna build your house on this square meter rate without any drawings, he's bluffing. So he just tell you as a guide. You can take the advice as a guide, but at the end, before they put down in the contract, before they put the number in the contract, it's never real. So my suggestion is, if anyone tell you that, just take it as a guide only. Don't take it too serious.
Sure. Just out of curiosity, are you able to give us a 4x2x2 construction on flat land as a rough guide per square meter? Just standard quality.
Single story?
Yes. 200 square meter internal size.
So
as a rough guide.
No, actually, I don't want similar. So we're looking at in Brisbane. I'll say in Brisbane. You probably need around 2,600 square meter. So I'm taking that the finishes is the medium level, not like a luxury level.
Yes.
Yeah, you're looking about around. I think you're looking around 2,600 square meter plus GST.
Okay, great.
It's not cheap to build a house now. Everything is so expensive.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few clients.
Thank you. That's very interesting.
Yeah. This is Brisbane only. Do not use this guy in New South Wales or Victoria. You'll hate me if you do that.
Yes. It's a rough guy, and it's
a rough guy. Always. That's right. So that you know, when you have a budget, you know how big your house can be, and then therefore, when you have a limited area of the house, then you use the area very, very, very carefully. Because this is my opinion is, I don't understand why all my clients come to me. They always want to build their house to the maximum size, even though they only have 2 people or 3 people. Like I don't understand. Like they just want to maximize. I know that you want everyone big house, everyone want to live in there, but sometimes when you maximize a house means that you minimize your outdoor area, you minimize your interact with the garden, the backyard, and the light. And now, like a house is supposed to be a comfort zone for you, a tailor for you. Not big is better, but so the client comes to me saying, "I want to build this house this big, but this is my budget. What do I do?" I say, "Build a smaller house." Build a small house you can't afford. And why you need 5 house with 5 toilet? Like, why do you need so many toilets? It's like, that's why and this is again going back to sustainable. Like, if you only need 2 toilets, why like 2 or 3 toilets is probably enough for any circumstance. So why do you need so many? Just understand the needs. I think don't follow everyone, but because my friend built a big house, I also want to build a big house. I don't understand this mentality, but it happened to my client. Question 2, I'm not sure about this question. I think I asked you before, Lilian. So it's something about when you're buying a house and then package, how do you calculate your deposit? I think if this is the right question, I think the deposit was set by the developer. Usually in Queensland, it's 10%. When you're buying a land, if you're building I think we talk about is if you're building a home, if you're buying a home and land package, and if your land is already settled, I think you have to pay your land in full, or you have to mortgage your land in full. But your house, then you pay 10% deposit for the builder to build your house, and then gradually pay every stages. If you're buying anything off the plan in Brisbane, I know that is 10% deposit you need to put down. Yeah, so but there are some cases I start to see some cases, some townhouse development that the developer asks for 5% because the sales really bad. So I think the answer is it's determined by the developer, not by us.
Sure. Thank you.
Question 3 is how do you make sure your builder complete your home on time? You cannot. So you can put it in the contract, like we said before. You put in the contract when the builder can start and how long it take the builder to finish. Trust me, all the good builder will want to finish your building on time, because the longer the drag on the site, the higher the builder fees that the builder need to pay, because the site fence, it was ran by there, the site bin, and also the admin cost. So no builder will want to delay the job. When the builder have to delay, it's because they're out of control. They lose control of the project, funding issues, material issues, or labor issues. So if you want to make sure that the builder can complete your builder on time, you put the timeline in the contract. And so you want to make sure that when do we start, how long will it take you to build, when do we finish, and if you cannot finish on time, what is the penalty? Now, this penalty go both ways. So for example, if a builder delay the project by a day, they need to pay you like $250 as a rent or something else. So this applies both ways. That means if the builder finished the job a day earlier, you need to pay the builder $250. So the penalty.
Really?
Yeah. The penalty go both ways. You can't just put a penalty on the builder and not reward him if he finishes earlier. That's why most of the builder will put $1. So there's no penalty. When they put $1 means there's no penalty, but they still need to honor the contract because they need to follow the guidelines. That's why when you do it properly, every time when there's a delay, let's say the weather delay, it's raining today, I can't pour concrete, or there's a delay in the shipments, the builder will need to request for the extension of time and then put the new time in the contract, like amend the contract, so that you know you can plan your future, because maybe you are renting, you want to know when you can move in, you want to prepare everything in advance. You have to put it in the contract. If you don't put it in the contract, then you can't control it.
How like is most builder are friendly about you putting a start date and an end date? Like how readily accepted is this, or this is not a common practice?
No, this is very common for us. When the builder doesn't want you to put it in, that means that he have no idea.
Sure.
He can't. He don't know, and therefore he don't want to put it in. That's where the red flag is.
Sure.
All the builder, a good builder, when they agree to take on your job, they already have a program in their calendar, because they need to plan for everything. If their capacity is full, then they won't take your job. If they take your job, because there's a time slot that is available. So they already know, they already plan ahead. Builder is builder mind. Or you always say builder is very cranky on site, because their mind is full of time frame and schedule. They are very, very busy, and they have to plan everything on the spot. So a good builder have no problem for you to put it in. When the builder is saying, we don't know, then you start, okay, then maybe we should put this on hold for now, and let me think about it again. You cannot don't know as a builder, unless the land that you bought is not settled, and therefore it's not up to the builder to decide when to start the house, because you have to wait for the land to settle, and that is usually for the council question, and that can be very quick or very long, depends on how complicated your site issue. So in that case, the builder can promise you. But if a land that ready to go, there's no way the builder cannot tell you when can they start.
Sure.
Most builder usually they will take on your job even that they are full. So because now they want to take you as a future, but they don't tell you, which is where it's, I don't know, maybe end of the year. So then it's up to you whether you're willing to wait or you want to go for someone else.
Okay. Great.
There's one more question from the Facebook?
I think so. I think it's more about where is house and land package most, like what suburb is most popular for house and land package at the moment in Brisbane and Greater Brisbane areas?
I'm not sure, but I know there's a lot of home and land package kind of in between Brisbane and Gold Coast, like in Coomera or Parara, in that kind of area, but I'm not familiar with that.
Sure. So do you mostly build in Brisbane City Council area, or?
Yes, yes, in the city. So most of our projects are in kind of within 5 kilometers in the city.
Yes.
And we got a few in the Sunnybank area, which is the Chinese area in Brisbane.
Yes.
The most Chinese living area.
Yes.
Yeah. So most of our project in inner city or south side of Brisbane.
Okay. Not much in the north side, Moreton Bay areas.
No, I have an apartment project in Victoria Point, but that's Redland Bay, not Moreton Bay.
Yes.
I haven't.
Okay.
Our company is still very new. We only just our company only formed last year March, but I've been working for 15, 20
17 years.
But oh, really? I didn't count. But this company, we only started last year, so we only have a handful of projects we're working on. So the last few of the slide is more about the job that we've been done for the last 18 months.
Yep.
So this is a house that I mentioned before. It's on the riverside, and it's a very difficult site because the site is sloped 9 meters, and that's why the client bought it very cheap. And he thought he's lucky, and then he want to go for the cheapest tender, the cheapest builder as well, because he believed his luck, and it's almost cost him the house. But luckily the site foreman is very, very good. Even if the builder go bankrupt, he should come back to finish the house for my client. Yeah. So my client very happy, like he very pleased, and at the end he award this guy not a lot of money. He award the guy money, and and I just told the client, you dodged the bullets one. please don't do it again.
Yes, yes.
Because
such a bullet. Yeah.
well, like when we heard about the builder go busted, that go bankrupt, that whole week we just panicking. Like the clients panic and I panic because I had to find I had to find out like what have they done, what sort of certificate in place, because when you're asking a second builder come in to finish the work,
Yes.
that the second builder had to make sure that the first builder done everything correct. So if there's a missing paperwork, like
yes.
if you have no if you don't have the certificate to certify the concrete is doing properly, then no one can take on the job because no one know what happened in the concrete, and then that become you had to take down and rebuild again. Yeah, it's a very stressful week. Luckily the guy come back, so very happy for that.
Can I just ask, because I talked to a sales agent in Brisbane before, and he was saying, don't worry, he know many builder, and like if you know, someone purchased the house and land package from him, and if one builder has issue or something like that, it's very easy for him to get another builder in to help or finish the job or take over or something like that. It's not an easy process to find new builder to take up projects, to finish the projects.
So if you're halfway done and you want the second builder to come in, because whoever come in last, he need to guarantee the whole house. He can't just guarantee the part that he do, because he need to guarantee the whole house. Therefore, your documents of the first part of the work need to be very clear and completed. Because the builder cannot come in and say, all right, the first builder have done the concrete and footing, and now he's go busted. That's fine. I will do the rest, but I don't guarantee the concrete. You can't do that because everything is built on the concrete. You have to guarantee the concrete. So if you have not certificate of the concreter to prove that he've done everything properly, there's an inspection in place.
Yes.
He will not take it because he's putting his license on risk.
Yes.
So if your document is very complete, if your inspection is very thorough, and you have all the record in place, then yes, you can do that. And I forgot to mention, QBCC actually has these services. In Queensland, if you're building a house, the builder has to buy a thing called QBCC insurance. So this insurance is the builder buy for the client. So the builder pay, I mean the builder will charge the client, but the builder buy this QBCC insurance for the client is if the builder go problem, they go bankrupt or they got something wrong, they got fire, they got this license, this QBCC insurance means that you can go to QBCC. They will ask, the QBCC will send another builder to come here to finish the job for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the QBCC actually, I believe this is only in Queensland, if I'm not mistaken, for house only, not commercial building, for house only. So if the builder done something wrong and he need to be kicked away or something like that, then you can, because you bought the insurance, so the QBCC will step in and help you.
Oh, okay.
So similar, if you have a dispute to the builder, if you believe the builder have done something wrong, like not taking a phone call, overcharge you, take your money but did not put the money on the job site, you can go to QBCC to complain about this builder.
Okay.
And then if he done something wrong, the QBCC can cancel his license, and then he cannot be the builder in Queensland anymore. I
see. Okay. So that's
because
good.
like us, they have to renew their license every year.
Yeah.
It's a driving license, you can't get away.
Yeah, I see.
So yeah, it's very tough in Queensland. So that's why in Queensland it's easy to do good building than do dodgy building, because it's so difficult. just do a job properly, everything will go easy.
Yes. I haven't heard of, you know, major defect buildings issue as frequently. Yeah, like it's quite frequent in Sydney and Melbourne, but seems like haven't heard much in Brisbane.
Yeah, in Brisbane, because everyone is registered, so let's say if you have a plumbing issue for your new build house, you go for the builder, and then the builder will go for his plumber because everything is registered back to the QBCC. They can't run away. So if in fact it's a plumber fault, the plumber installed the plumbing wrong, so the plumber has to take full responsibility, and his license will get canceled. So it means that this plumber cannot be a plumber anymore, which is why when we watch TV show, you like the builder say, okay, plumber, I hire you. I want to save money, so do this my way, not doing the right way. Do it my way because I want to save money. The plumber said, no, if I do it your way, my license could get taken away. Then I can't do job anymore. So I will not do it for you because everything will come back to me. My license is on the line. So the regulation is very, very tough for all these licensed trading. They rather to give up the job than to do this dodgy thing because it's not helpful. It's not helping them. You lose your license. You lose your you lose your ability to earn money to feed your family. So they said, no, I just go for other builder.
Yes.
So yeah, it's easy to do. It's just much more easy to comply than to do a dodgy job. That's all.
That's good.
So yeah. So this is one of the project. We got some issue, but luckily we went through, and then So the client moved in and celebrated Chinese New Year in the new house. So he's happy.
Wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful. So this is another job that we did in the Sunnybank area. So the client, because we are architects, so the client come to us. He wants something special, something interesting. So we did that for him. So that curve. So this house, because it's on the hill, so they got some view. So the first floor, he putting his living, dining, and kitchen on the first floor, so he got some better view. So that curve, the curve in the corner, they will be installed a screen to cover up like the design on the right hand side, and that area is actually a herb gardens. That's outside the kitchen, so that's where he can have all these herbs planting there.
Yep.
We call herbs garden on the balcony.
I like the balcony. It's a very unique design.
Yeah, he liked that. He wanted his house to be the best house on the street, to be the most standout house in the street.
Yes.
Because I was a bit worried about this metal cladding is very reflective, that it shines, that it reflects the sunlight.
Yeah.
They said, yeah, I want people to see it. So I said, okay, let's do it.
Okay, very good.
This is another house we're working on in a suburban area, so it's a bit further away from the Brisbane. It's the west of Brisbane. It's about half an hour drive. It's surrounded by landscape. The client saying he wants some material that is natural but less maintenance. So we actually did some research. We found this thing called char timber. So all the timber cladding, all the black you saw is a timber cladding that is char, is torched by a fire to become a charcoal.
Yes.
And then we use it as a cladding so that there's no need to maintain.
So interesting. It won't like catch fire like more easily or something like that?
Well, it's timber, so it will still burn if you put on the fire. It's just like because it's very like all the moisture on the timber is already been burned out, so it's crisp in there. So it can last longer in the fire like charcoal. And also is the termite doesn't like it.
Oh really?
Because it's charred. It's not their food. It's not their food anymore.
Yes.
And also it has a better weather protection than normal timber because there's no more gap in the wood in the timber because it's been charred. Yeah. It's been burned out, so it's expensive. But there's no need to paint and there's no need to maintain. So so we're working on a detail how to install because it's expensive, so we don't want to waste it.
Yes.
So but the client saying because his house is in the woods, it's surrounded by tree. Yes. So he wants something natural for the house. So this is the one that will. Yeah. So Yeah, we always I like challenging and I like working on interesting houses. So we don't have
Yes.
many projects, but when I start the company with my partner Jonathan, we call ourselves Boon and John Architecture.
Yes.
The the reason why we name ourselves Boon and John Architecture, because I think the best duo artists in the world, Tom and Jerry. That's how people are saying just use our name, like just because we were thinking about, no, oh, should we have any cool name for our firm? I saying,
Yeah.
but the name need to mean something. It need to be meaningful to us. It need to mean something for our work, our life. I saying, just use the name. Boon and John, Tom and Jerry. People remember you. I saying, just
I
use
like it. I think it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we make a right choice.
Just curious. With this char timber,
Yes.
is that produced in Australia or it was imported from elsewhere?
This is produced in Australia. If I don't get it wrong, it was started from Japan. This technique, it started from Japan. Yeah.
Okay.
And I learned a lot as well when I use this material. You can select how char you want the timber is. It's like your stack. you can select how char you want. You can like 50%, 70%, so that 50% you see the char and a bit of the timber color, the brown color. Yeah, so that's 50%. So you can choose. So yeah, I know. It's
very interesting.
I learned a lot from this house. So yeah, it's a good project. I can't wait to see that happen.
When will this one finish?
Unfortunately, this is the one that we're waiting for the land to settle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is actually the second design we done for the site. I didn't put the first one. We done the first one. It's a 3-story, so it's a 2-story and 1-story of basement. So concrete that one is going a different direction. The one is modern. It's concrete house. It's multiple concrete house. We went to tender last year. It come back blowing the budget, like way off the budget.
Yes.
So and then the client say, "What do we do?" I saying, "Well, because the budget was above so much, there's nothing we can do to bring it down." They're saying, "Well, should we design another house?" I'm saying, "Well, if you want, but I'll still charge you." So because we become friends now, so I give him a discount price for this one because I'm enjoying working on this job. Like I learned a lot and I'm very enjoying doing this design. So I have this bad habit. So usually on a very interesting project or very difficult, challenging project, I tend to reduce my fees a bit because I'm enjoying the process.
Yep.
The boring one, I try to stick to my price because I think if I want to do something boring, at least I make sure I get paid.
Yep. Thanks for the tips.
Yeah. This is another one. This is the one that the family like the 3 different generations. So you see like these are 2 little wings. It's one house, but it looks like 2 houses combined together. So the grandparents and the parents can stay together, but also have their own separate room. So yeah, so this is one that we are also working on. This one probably will get quicker to build than this one because this one doesn't have the land issues.
Yes.
So besides houses, we also do multi-residential building. So this is a townhouse that we're working on.
I like this one.
It's a 4-unit 3-story townhouse. This one we just go what's the words? Expression.
Yeah.
We want people to see, like we just want to express the building or just make it as visible as possible so that people can see you. And even the drive past by, you remember the house.
Yeah.
So we did that. So this one is at Carina, so it's very popular suburb for townhouses.
Yeah.
And I think we probably get approval not far for this one. Probably another 2 or 3 weeks, we'll get approval from council.
Yes.
Yeah, then we can go straight to construction drawing, and the client hopefully can start the job, like start the ground end of this year, hopefully.
Yes,
So yeah,
yes.
this is exciting.
And the client is building this to sell, is it? Like
Yes, that's right.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I take it he's already sold a few of them, like pre-sale, or he's sold all of them, or what?
No, he can't pre-sale now because we haven't get approval from council yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can, but it's risky.
Yeah.
Because when you pre-sale, you need to get all your area, your floor plan, your design locked in. You cannot change.
Yes.
So yeah, he haven't started pre-sale yet.
Okay, okay. This one's
Soon,
nice.
maybe.
So it's like got view from the top of the hill down the mountain or something, is it?
No. So
No.
this is just a render. This one is actually quite in a suburb area, so it was surrounded by townhouses and house. But
okay.
So all the screen is there for privacy purpose.
I
So
see.
you see all the window have this screen in angle. So
Yeah.
it's kind of for privacy, but at the same time also allow the sunlight to go in.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not in the hill. It's just the render. Sorry for misleading you.
It's
surrounded by.
It's two level. Is it like a ground level? Is
No,
three levels.
Yeah. So
including the car park, like 3 levels.
That's right. So ground floor is the garage.
Yeah.
Double garage and laundry. The first floor is living, dining, kitchen, and a powder room.
Yeah.
Some unit has a bedroom on. Actually, no. So no. Actually, no. So this one, first floor is dining, kitchen, dining, living. On the first and top floor is 3-bedroom with ensuite and bathroom. Yeah. So very standard 3-story townhouses in Queensland.
Would you know what sort of price guide this would be like in this suburb? Like it's just a rough idea. Like how much can something like this sell for?
I believe the client is aiming for somewhere between 1.2 to 1.5, I would say.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, 3 years ago it's like 800, so
yeah.
Brisbane property price is going up a lot.
Yes.
This is another townhouse project we're working on. This is an interesting one. It's on the flood area actually. So you can see in some area that this is a 2-story townhouse, but in some area where the hills start to falling away, it's not flood. It's not actually, technically it's not a flood. We call overland flow. So in the huge, Queensland is popular for its storm. When it storms, there's a lot of water coming through. So when during the storm, this is where the water go through. We call a overland flow. So the water that running above the land. So we need to allow the water to go through. We cannot block the water. So that's why the unit 2, 3, and 4 is on a suspended concrete with posts. And my client he's very humorous. He's saying that when he advertised this, he's saying this is your in summer, this is the ordinary 2-story townhouse. In the storm season, this has become a waterfront property. Yeah. So, yeah, literally is on the waterfront when it's storm season. So yeah.
I'm curious. Can you say which suburb this is situated in?
Yeah, this is in Morningside.
Okay.
East Morningside, east of Brisbane, I would say.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Morningside. So yeah, it's a good suburb. But we just had Brisbane is flood. So we just have to deal with the flooding issue here.
Yes.
This is the apartment project we're working on at the northern. No, it is eastern as well. Eastern Brisbane. So this is towards Victoria Point, Wellington Point. So they got some ocean view. So it's nice.
Nice. How many apartments in the complex?
This one is 4-story with 9 units. So there's one unit on the ground floor, 3 unit on the first and second, and 2 unit on the top floor.
Okay.
So the top floor unit is like huge. It's like 4-bedroom. I can't remember how big. It's like 250 square meter per unit.
Yes.
From memory,
Yes.
I can't remember now. It's big.
Beautiful.
So I think that's our last slide.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah, you've been talking for 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Oh my God. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys.
No. It was very, very interesting, but must be hard work for you. Yeah. Thank you for sharing so much interesting and helpful information with our group.
No. With pleasure. I do hope that everyone can get a chance to find the builder and build their dream house with no hassle.
So, Boon, I'm just wondering if there are people interested in your service. What services do you offer?
So, because we're architects, so obviously we provide design and document for your house. So usually our service has 4 stages. So we have a schematic design for your property, and then the detailed design for your property. We can do tendering progress for your property, and the last one is we do contract admin, which is like your project manager for your property. So this is usually our services we can provide. In myself, because I used to work, the company I used to work for, we do a lot of investment property like townhouse or apartment. So I also provide people with development information. So my client, when they found a site that they want to invest in, they usually come to me. I'll help them to assess the risk of the site and also the potential, and then I'll just show them like the pros and cons for the site. What can you do for the site? What's the risk of doing on the site? So, and we're also doing feasible study or use study, like how many townhouses you can fit or how many units you can fit. So I provide that service as well as a feasibility study. Yeah, I think we call it.
So
yeah.
Is that also like you help the client work out how much profit they can make out of the project?
No, not profit. just how many units you can put in.
Okay, I see.
Because profit is very hard to predict because of the time. Like you probably know better than me. Same house price now and a year before is different. So we can't predict the profit because we cannot predict the time. That's the difficult part from my experience. Like it's so hard to control the time. We always have a program for the project.
Yes.
I don't have. I so far we try our best to stick that, but it just never happened. There's so many hassle on the way, and I delay the project. The council issue, the funding issue, the builder issues, engineer issues. It's just it's very hard for us to predict the time, and because we can't predict the time, therefore we can't predict the profit. The builder have to seek a different specialist for that. My expertise, I can tell you how many units we can fit.
Yes.
How big is your unit? Sometimes I do provide my opinion side. Okay, you can fit 7 units on this, like 7 townhouses on this side, but 7 very small townhouses. If you look at this suburb, small townhouses is not a very popular product. If you're willing to compromise, we can do 5 big townhouses, 5 luxury boutique townhouses, and it's a popular product in this suburb. That means you can sell quicker.
Yeah.
So sometimes I provide opinion like this, but at the end, the clients still need to make their own decisions.
Sure. Where should they? Who should they seek help from if they want to make sure? They want to understand and get someone to check, how much profit they're going to make out of this project.
So to do that completely, you need multiple people. So so the QS can help you to calculate the cost of construction.
Okay.
In a more detailed level, because when they calculate, they factor the time and also inflation into the calculation.
I see.
But the profit is this 2 part is how much you're going to spend and how much you're going to earn. How much you're going to earn, so they will seek for their agent saying, agent,
Yes.
if this is my product, how much I can sell? So
Yep.
the agent has a more complete data to tell you the history. Yeah. And then you have your banker or your accountant saying, okay, are you fully funded this job, or are you going to mortgage from the bank?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you mortgage, then you need to calculate your interest rate as well. So
yes,
I know that online there's a lot of like property investor group or property like kind of calculator, like the calculator Excel sheet or something like that to help you. I never used them before, so maybe you can reach out. I never, because I tried to get one myself, but they keep saying download, but when they kick that, it never download. This is one information.
Yes.
So yeah, so I never use one myself. I know that if you have friends in the banker, in the bank during construction loan, they usually will have something similar. It's a very complicated process.
Sure.
Yeah, you have to do like I got a client. He's younger than me, but he's a very experienced developer. He almost has that calculator in his mind. When he come to me saying, "Boon, I got to decide what can I do?" I say, "Okay, you can do apartment, you can do townhouse. If you do apartment, you get 10 unit. If you do townhouse, you got like 7 unit." He straight away he'll say, "Okay, I'll go for townhouses." I say, "Why? You only have 5 unit, but apartment you can get 10." They're saying, "Yeah, but it costs more to build apartment and it takes longer to build apartment. So if I go townhouse, I can get everything done in 18 months, 6 months to approval and documentation, 1 year to build and sell. So I can get my money back in 18 months. But if I go for apartment, it take me 1 year to get approval, 2 years to build. I can get only my money back in 3 years time. And the profit per year is about the same. So his brain is very quick. I learned a lot from him. So he's saying, yeah. So he's saying I usually, so in 18 months I get maybe half a million profit. If I do 3 years, I get like 1 million profit. If it's down to the time frame, it's about the same. So he go for the quicker one so that he can get his cash flow going.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's very smart.
Great tip.
So he's experienced. So I can't do that.
No, your expertise is in construction, like designing the property. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like to talk to them, so I learn something from them. That's why I'm saying it's never go wrong. Just talk to this expert. If you run into the builder, your friend, your builder, ask all the question. If your friend QS, ask a question. You always learn something from them, and it's always useful to know something like that.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much for the great advice.
No worry.
Yeah, please leave your company's contact detail below this post. So if any member are interested, they know where to find you.
The post in the Facebook. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like your website address, email address, things like that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks for thanks for letting me joining you today.
Yeah, it's been a great learning experience. Thank you.
No worry. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, Boon.
Yeah, you too. Good night,
All
everyone.
right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.